Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're doing well and looking forward to today's episode as we are now at the end of January 2029 and we are looking to sign a couple of players in today's episode. Not to strengthen the first team, we're trying to increase our talent pool for the future, and we'll talk more about that in a few moments' time. But welcome back, hope you're all doing well. Looking forward to today's episode as we are taking on Liverpool and Bournemouth in the Premier League. Two very different challenges. Liverpool last season were not very good, but since they've been taken over by Erik ten Hag, who's turned around a little bit, they have done pretty well this season. So they are a pretty decent challenge to face up against, and they'll be difficult. Bournemouth, on the other hand, are down near the bottom end of the table, so you'd like to think we're going to get 3 points from today's episode, but after last episode, well, I don't know anymore. Speaking of last episode, we lost 3-4 to Newcastle United and 2-1 to Aston Villa. It wasn't great. Since then, things actually have gone in our favour quite nicely. We started off with 2 wins against Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers, but at the time, both of those teams were in the relegation zone, so it was only natural that we were going to win those games. At least that was my thinking. At least we did win those games, which was good. We then managed to just about beat Hull City 2-1 in the FA Cup third round with a rotated team before coming back and getting a lovely draw with Chelsea away from home. Not expected, but great to get that result either way. We then took on Aston Villa in the Premier League, and this time we actually did show our dominance like we did in the FA Cup, but then they beat in the FA Cup despite our dominance. We beat them this time around in the league 3-1, which is great, but last time out a 4-1 loss to Arsenal was, well, not ideal. Despite all of this, things are looking pretty good for us in the Premier League. We sit slap bang in the middle in 10th place right now on 33 points from 23 games, but our goal difference is -1, which is maybe not ideal. We're only 5 points off Tottenham in 7th place right now, which is great, but if you look downwards, we're not that far away from Leicester in 16th as well, either 9 points off those guys there. So, you know, a couple of bad results, we could see ourselves drop all the way back down to the bottom half of the table. It shows how tight it is this season. Now, we haven't yet brought anyone into the team this January, but we have sold a player. Josh Tymon, our third choice left back, has left the club for £2.5 million to join DC United. Whilst he's a very good player, he was not really playing much for us, and I think it was time to let him move on and prosper across the pond in America. So he's gone to DC United, a good bit of money for us as well, and he gets a bit of money off the wage bill as well, which is quite nice. What it means is we now have basically £24 million to be spending on players this January, and there's a little area that I do want to focus on. Now, at the very end of the last transfer window in summer, we said that we wanted to try and bring a few younger players in who have potential. Maybe not quite first teamers just yet, but have potential. Because whilst we do have a lot of potential in this squad, it's mostly in the attacking areas. You can see our best players here are attacking players, midfielders, the odd wing back and things like that as well. Bobo Baldy's our best centre-back, and whilst he has got potential, and so do a few other good players, Mike Ward is actually midfielder. I thought he was centre-back. So that just shows how few centre-backs we have coming through. It's clearly an area that we need to strengthen. We're not too fussed about players in the attacking sense because we've developed quite a few of those already in our team, in our first team and out on loan right now. The area that we need to focus on, in my opinion, is the centre-back area. And so currently there are 4 players on my shortlist who are all centre-backs or centre-mids, because I think centre-mid is an area we could look to improve as well. They're all 18, 19 or 20 years old. I think this guy's just turned 20 years old actually. But these guys are all available, and they could all do a job for us, I think. Now, we'll start off with, well, potentially the most expensive player here, but the player that I'm not 100% sure I want to sign. Luke Rudd currently plays for Real Madrid's B team. He's a centre-back, 18 years old, English, which is quite nice for us as well, because it helps with homegrown status and things like that. He does look solid at 18 years old, but am I seeing a world-beating centre-back in here? Potentially, actually. I mean, areas you don't need to worry about are the tackling, maybe even the marking, to be fair, positioning, bravery, you know, they're all up there, to be fair, aren't they? Jumping reach of 13 isn't too bad, 6'1's not too bad. It's the heading of 10, which is a little bit low. We like to play ball players as well, so it's then the technique of 8, the passing of 10, the pace of 11 is not great either. Yes, I know he's only 18 years old, but we want to bring in world quality players for the future. And I'm not 100% sure Luke Rudd could be it. But playing in the second division of Spain right now, week in, week out, so equivalent to the Championship essentially. So he's got that sort of experience already under his belt. That will really help his development. And for £9.6 million, actually could represent good value for money as well. But we won't talk about him too much because I am much more interested in signing this guy, Luis Felipe, who is a 19-year-old Brazilian centre-back currently playing for Flamengo in Brazil. And to me, he does look like the better player. Yes, he's a year older, but looks like a lot better than the other guy. In fact, if we just compare the two of them right now, you can see that hands down, Luis Felipe is the better player, even if Luke Rudd may be slightly better defensively and things like that. Can actually also operate as a fullback. Obviously, we'd play him more through the middle. Has got both feet as well. I just think this guy's better, but obviously 10.5 to 12.5 million is going to be expensive. So I think we try and do this in instalments. He's got a £14 million release fee clause, though, and that might be the issue. If we drop this down to, I don't know, 5, and then add 2 instalments of another £5 million to make it... In fact, let's bring it down even more to start off with. How about 3.5 and 3.5, right? Let's suggest that to them, and they just want 14 straight away. They want 14 straight away. Do I want to do that? It's a gamble. I mean, it's either this guy right now or these 3 players. We've not even spoken about the other 2 players, which actually maybe we should do first and foremost. Alexander, a centre mid, an area that we could use to improve on, to be fair. 20 years old, has only just turned 20 actually, as you can see up there. 5-star potential, 3-star current ability. Mentals are really solid, physicals are pretty decent. The technicals need a little bit of work, but he is a more defensively minded centre mid, which is not really a position that we play too much, but you know, it's something we could look to transition to in a couple of seasons' time. Already plenty of under-21 caps for Serbia. Can't be too long before he breaks into the first team. And his release fee clause is 6.2 million. So he looks like he could be a handy player. And then also in the centre of midfield is 18-year-old Miguel Barrias, which I think I've said all wrong anyway, but there we go. Value between £300,000 and 3 million would be fairly cheap. Again, another centre mid, more attacking-wise though, but has the fundamentals to be really solid, I reckon. And 18 years old as well, and only just 18 years old too. Like, he's got a long way to go. He's just gone on loan to Portimonense from Porto. I think you'd be interested in signing for us though still. I think we make bids for these 3 players. Paul Rudd included. Luis Felipe might be the best. I think maybe we hold on a little bit longer for him. You know, try and get these guys in the door now and then get him next summer. When potentially, because I don't think we're going to make too many signings next summer personally. I don't think it's going to be the same transfer window that we had this past season. So I think bids for all these players now, look to get this guy later down the line. And then we've got all 4 of them maybe. Make an offer, it's going to have to be that 6.2 million. If we can drop it down to, I don't know, 3.6, they just say no. So it's going to have to be that 6.25, make the offer. Okay, get that one accepted. Miguel, this one is a bit more interesting. Transfer status, yeah, 300k to 3 million. Transfer, make an offer. Let's put it up to 1 million, right? Let's just see what they say to £1 million. Suggest 2.4, 2.2, 100k, and then 40% in the future. We might have to wait till after the Liverpool game to come back in for this because that seems a little bit too much and I want to get rid of this, but I can't right now. And then Luke Rudd from Real Madrid. Transfer, make an offer. We'll go to, first of all, profit from next sale, remove and exclude. Drop it down to 4 million. Suggest they come back and they want 8.8. We can make this lower. How about 3 and 3 for £6 million total? They want a bit more. Okay, how about 3.5, 3.5. Get rid of all of this gubbins down here that no one really likes. They accept that. I think we're doing the right thing. I think we're doing the right thing with these 4 transfers. Obviously one a bit further down the line, but it would mean all our budget right now. And I don't really want to spend all our budget right now. Actually, maybe we could get them all if we just are properly sensible with how much we pay right now. But then wages could be the issue. Anyway, we're going into this game then against Liverpool, and this is the team that I think should be hopefully getting some sort of result for us. Schnellert starts in goal with a backline of Suntesic, Sequeira, Lucas Holter, and Paul Dillon. Ostergaard, Patrick, and Sandri start in the middle with Rebergen and Ewan on the wings, and Sione leading the line. We currently have a few players away on international duty. Camboila's out at the African Cup of Nations right now, whereas Kevin Bell is currently injured, so can't play on the left wing. So kickoff is is upon us. Let's go and get this result against Liverpool. And the first 10 minutes are looking actually in our favour. 2 shots to Liverpool's 0 shots. So that bodes well until they have 2 shots themselves. Now, we jinxed ourselves quite a bit last episode. And I don't know, I just think I refuse to give in to the idea that I jinx everything. Even though the evidence points towards it. I mean, surely at some point I've got to break some jinxes. Surely at some point. And I don't think I've said anything to jinx this right now. And luckily I haven't, because that didn't go in the back of a net, luckily. But Liverpool with the early warning shot in that game. They're currently fighting for a Champions League place, as you can see. But I guess to an extent, right, we are fighting for a Europa Conference League place right now. I can't see us catching up to a top 6 for Europa League. And to be honest, I can't really see us catching up to Tottenham in 7th. I think at some point we're going to start sliding back down the table because we can't sustain the form we've been in. Plus, our recent games have been against teams like Wolves. Crystal Palace was one as well. Aston Villa below us in the table. Are they still? Maybe? I can't remember. Either way, we've had some decent fixtures in our favour recently. So I think as we start to play more difficult teams, we will start to drop back down a little bit. But this first half has gone by pretty quickly and there's been very minimal highlights in this game so far. So maybe we could at least grind out a draw here potentially. Liverpool are saying no to that because they've just got our man sent off. Okay, well maybe... Okay. Maybe I am jinxing things a little bit. Maybe what we do in this situation, right, is switch to this formation, but we play like this instead, so quite narrow. Then Cresswell will come on at the back, confirm that change, and that's what we're going to have to do, I think, for the remainder of this game, and hope for the best as Ostergaard is given a warning there for a free kick at the start of this highlight. It makes me think there is going to be a goal at the end of this highlight when it starts with a free kick just like that. Liverpool find the ball into... What did I tell you? What did I tell you? If I don't jinx things, I predict them, but predict the things that happen badly for us. It's not something I'm proud of, and it's not a skill that I want to have, but it's a skill that I seem to have developed. I guess to be fair, Liverpool are expected to beat us, and when we're down to 10 men as well, like, there's not really much of a chance we have against them. So I don't think we can be too disheartened by what's going on right now. We've just been a bit unlucky with the sending off, but I think on paper Liverpool should be beating us all day, every single day. So let's just not get too upset about this. It's not quite as bad as the result we had against Newcastle last time out. I'm still not quite over that. I'm still cringing when I think about it, and it still haunts me in my dreams at night, basically. Liverpool coming forward, though, with 30 minutes or so to go in this game. Cook gets the ball out wide into Salah again, and Salah actually doesn't even get it on target. It goes wide for a goal kick, so a bit of a let-off for us there. Potentially a couple of changes. Sione has not played well in recent weeks, I must say. He had his barnstorming start to the season, or first half of the season, really. He signed his new contract, and he's not really bothered with much else after that, to be fair. So, obviously no bids came in for him in the transfer window, which is fine by us because we don't want to sell him. He's got a lot of goals so far this season, but I'd like for him to actually be in a bit of form. As results stand right now, we do drop down to 11th in the table. It's not too bad of a result. We're going to go to 6 points behind Tottenham, who are in 7th place right now. And like I said, I don't think that's possible this season, but I do think top half is possible, and I do want to battle for a top half position this season because that would be great for us as a club and our reputation. But with 10 minutes to go in this game, Liverpool looking to come forward through McGlynn into Dodgson, who puts it in the back of the net. Schneller got a hand to it, but the shot was too powerful, and we go 2-0 down. Okay, well, I think we can probably write this game off anyway. We were always probably going to lose it, to be fair, and it was a good test, but going down to 10 men as well just sort of sucked the life out of the game for us, and we've not been able to really create much at all since that sending off, as the ball sent forward goes to absolutely no one in the end. And Liverpool have a chance to come straight back to us instead, as Cook is played through. I'll be honest, there are some defensive errors here which are not great. And although we've scored, I think it's like the 4th highest amount of goals this season in the league, we've also conceded the 4th highest amount of goals this season. So whilst we do score plenty, we are still leaking at the back a little bit, and that's maybe something we need to reflect a little bit better in our tactics and things like that. But you know what, we can't complain too much because mid-table is exactly the sort of area we want to be. Top half at a push, we can be happy, I think. That's me trying to find some positives out of this game. It's not been a great game for us, but only a few days off before the Bournemouth game. Hopefully some new signings coming in between now and then as well. It should be decent. Before we do contracts, before I forget, I'm going to just rest everyone for a couple of days because the game is literally in 4 days' time. So training, rest, 1 day. But contracts on the table for Davidovic then. Squad player, regular starter, important player. Finalise the promise, negotiate the contracts. It's a 4-year deal, 12 grand a week. Release fee clause of 35 million. I think we can maybe deal with that right now. I think that would be acceptable because I don't want to pay him too much money. And especially if we need to get rid of these future wage rises and stuff like that. Keeping the release fee clause in there will make him a lot happier, I believe. So let's just do that. Suggest he wants a lot more money now. And I guess if we're going to pay him around the 15 grand mark, let's actually get rid of that release fee clause. And that. And you can keep everything else. Just bring them down slightly, I think. Suggest. He's happy. I'm happy. Good. The deal for Paul Rudd, though, is a little bit different. He just wants to be a squad player. No sort of preference in the future, which is quite nice. So that gives us a lot of scope to negotiate up to a 4-year deal as opposed to a 3-year deal. Let's bump him up to 15 grand a week as well to get rid of all of these future things as well. Suggest. He wants a little bit more money. About 16.5 on a 4-year deal. He doesn't want a 4-year deal, does he? 16.75 on a 4-year deal. He's agreed to that. He just wants that we'll give you more, we'll give you as much as you possibly want on a 4-year deal. So this is 6.25. That's 3.5 up front. Just for the sake of argument, let's call it 10 million, right? It gives us 14 million still to spend. It gives us 14 still to spend, actually, doesn't it? Nearly. And so, it's either... It's annoying, isn't it? Maybe we could sell someone. One more player sold and we could actually bring all of these players in, I reckon. I can't quite remember what they wanted for Miguel. But again, we'll make the offer. The important thing is getting rid of that percentage of profit from next sale. Get rid of that. Did we say like 1.5 now and then down the line 1.5? Or just 1 million down the line? I can't remember what we even said, to be fair. Let's try that. And they want 1.8, 1.9 for 3.7. Can we go 1.5, 1.5? Is that what we offered before? I can't remember. They'll take... How about... one? Yeah, that seems good to me. 3.5 million. Okay, done. Good. Right. So 3.5 plus 1.5 is 5. That's 11 and a bit. We need the 14. We've not got quite enough. Who could we sell? Who's got some sort of value in the under-23 team that we don't really care about selling on and stuff like that? There must be someone here, right, that could just go. Like, but they're all different values, which is annoying. Who's this guy? Kieran Pete. On loan at Torquay right now, value between 1.4 and 5.4 million. I mean, we could just offer him out for like 5. No one's going to buy for 5 million, I don't think. But we could just maybe see if there's offers on the table, potentially. Although, Porto have accepted the bid for this guy, but he wants a lot of money and to be a star player, which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't think that's not right for me. No way is he worth that sort of money. I mean, let's just compare him quickly with a Sandri, for example. And you can see how much better Sandri is. This guy will be good, but Sandri's a lot better right now. He's not a star player just yet, that's my point. So, for me, I have no interest in giving him star player status, although he's have to be a squad player, which is fine. I've got no interest in giving him 54 grand a week, though, to make him the highest earner at the club. If you go down to like 16 and we get rid of all of this rubbish, then yeah, I'd think about it. But no, up to 66, right? Walk away from this guy. And I think that might mean we'll have the money for Luis Felipe. I think. £14 million. Why not? Let's YOLO it, right? He's quite dubious about negotiating with us. He wants to be a star player too. And that's probably actually, you know, maybe correct. If we compare him, for example, with, I think Willy Camboire is probably at least in my opinion, the best centre-back we have, you can see that they are very similar, and actually, Luis Felipe could be slightly better. So he'd come in to be a starting centre-back for us, basically. That's what I'm trying to say here. Let's make you a regular starter. Suggest? He wants star. Okay, we'll give you star player, that's fine. But the contract is locked in release fee clause for a continental club at £72 million. That's fine by me. Everything else is actually fairly reasonable. If we can just bring these down a little bit, I think we could be onto something here. Suggest? He's happy, I'm happy, that's a good deal. I think the guy from Porto will be very good in the future. I do like the look of him. I think we try and go back for him in summer maybe, when he's maybe a little bit more reasonable, but I'm not paying him 66 grand a week right now. And so as deadline day approaches, these deals should be done. These deals should be done. I believe they should all be getting work permits as well, which is very handy for us. But as we get to the Bournemouth game on deadline day, nothing is happening just yet. So I don't actually want to take part in deadline day because I'm not planning on making any deals. I don't need to take part in it. I'm just going to wait for these guys to actually just arrive at the club. And the first one to arrive is Luis Felipe. Okay, so 11 a.m. on deadline day. He's set to sign for £14 million. Now, that might be, I just say £14 million, not like 15 because of extra, stuff. That's quite handy. I think we are going to get, it's going to be close, but I think we are going to get all of these players joining the club. So, Luis Felipe, welcome. I think he's coming in. And when I say I think he's coming in, he is coming in. He's right here. He's a wonder kid as well. I didn't spot that before. A wonder kid, which is absolutely fantastic. Send in a language course. Ostergaard, welcome him to the club, please. Get him settled in. I'm a fan of Luis Felipe. He's going to be good. Also, Davidovic is also into the club, or Davidovic. I'm going to struggle to say his name, aren't I, for some reason. Again, a good centre midfielder. I'm expecting to see a lot of stuff from him as well. So he's coming into the club. That's good. And will we get the other one? No. Luke Rudd signs a new deal with Real Madrid instead. Okay. Fair enough. Enjoy Real Madrid. I suppose Madrid's probably nicer than Wrexham. That does make a lot of sense in my head. We could always come back for him in the future, maybe. Now, he's not interested in signing for us right now, and actually not going to talk about price. Although Madrid do say 5 to 8.8, so it'd still be something similar in summer, maybe. I think maybe we come back in for him. But at least we've got two guys coming in who I really rate. And potentially we could play them both against Bournemouth. I think it'd be unwise to play them both against Bournemouth, but given that Cambuala is away on international duty, Lucas Holter currently suspended, obviously, I think Ruiz actually does fit into this team for this game. Now, Norwich want to get Cresswell on loan. You're not going to have him because you're not paying any money for him, so no, that's not a thing. He's also quite a needed backup right now. But as we head into this game, I am pretty convinced, actually, we are going to be giving a debut to Luis Felipe at the right centre-back role, because he is a right-footed player who is a ball-playing centre-back. So, fits quite nicely. Do I want to make any other changes to the team? Well, Sione's not been playing brilliantly, but he has got 16 goals in 25 appearances. It's just that he's got most of those quite a while ago. He scored a goal against Arsenal, played well in that game, but a 6-3, 6-8, 6-6, 6-7, it's not really the most ideal run of form. So discuss worn player, criticise his last game, I suppose, and you squandered lots of chances. I agree. Okay, right. We can sort that out with him at some point. Hopefully he's going to bounce back, because I'm going to trust him today as well. We've still got to play Ewan on the left-hand side. Rebergen, not playing brilliantly in his last few, but is one of the better players actually in the team, so we'll keep him playing in the team. Sandri has not played excellently in his last 5. Let's give a chance to maybe Debbie for a couple of games and see how that one goes. Okay, so we've got to give a number to Luis Felipe. He's our backup right centre-back, technically speaking, in terms of the numbers, which means that he would be number 44 in this system of numbers that I like to have. So he'll be number 44 for this season, but I imagine number 4 next season. And so, as kickoff is upon us today, Bournemouth are currently in the relegation zone in 18th place. A win could take them out of that relegation zone, so they need to do something today. We obviously want to bounce back from a win after those 2 back-to-back losses to Arsenal and to Liverpool. So this would be a really good way for us to get back to winning ways. Corner coming in from Rebergen early on though, into the near post, and Sequeira just puts it wide of the mark. Very unlucky from him there. He's been pretty decent in the air this season. Hoping to see Luis Felipe also have some good chances in the air as well from corners. But as the clock is ticking on in this first half, we approach the half-time whistle, and we've not seen much apart from Sequeira at the second time of asking, getting his second goal of the season from the corner. You love to see it. Fantastic stuff from the boys there as we take the lead in this game. Also, I just realised I've got this new chair which is slightly higher than my old chair. So I've moved the camera up so I'm not off the top of the camera, but I think I might have moved it too high because I think as I normally sit, I'm like kind of just not really... I don't know, I don't really feel the camera very well, do I? So, I'm sorry if I'm looking a bit stupid. I'll adjust this for future episodes and things like that. So, half-time, Bournemouth 0, Wrexham 1. A good start to this game. I'm not going to say anything that could jinx it because we know what happens when I say things about results of what could happen in a game. In the meantime, though, Schneller clears the ball up towards Rebergen, down to Sione, into Debbie, out wide to Ewan. That's a really good ball as Ewan can now look to put one into the middle. He does to Sione at the near post, blocked by the defender and cleared away from the Bournemouth back line, but that's the best chance I think we've seen all game from us. Probably the highest XG chance we've had in this game so far. But as the clock continues to just keep ticking down and down and down, Rebergen's corner into the middle is once again put over the bar by Diego. He's had some good chances from corners, I must say, winning plenty of balls in the air, which is great to see. If he could just direct those headers on target a little bit better, that would be absolutely wonderful. In the meantime, Bournemouth looking to come forward, cross into the middle, is somehow turned into the net. How's that happened? How have they done that? I've not even said anything to jinx it. I've not even said anything. I've nothing. That's really annoying. How has that gone in? Is that our new boy, Ruiz? But it is our new boy. Oh, Luis Felipe, not Ruiz. I don't know where I got Ruiz from. Luis Felipe's. He's messed things up a little bit there. That's not ideal. And will he mess things up a little bit more? Because here come Bournemouth. It wasn't far off. It wasn't far off as we got very lucky in that instance. We're going to shout demands more, and I think changes do need to be made. Sione still playing terribly. Salom on you come. Lucao is going to come on as well. And Suntenic on a 6.1 is going to come off as well. So 3 changes at the same time. Will they actually make any sort of change, though? I don't know. Come on. Let's get this win. We've been the better team, as you can see. We deserve the win. But here comes that Bournemouth goal. Nearly. Not quite. Okay. Okay. We need to step this up a little bit. Wing backs on attack. Get further forward. We've got wing. Literally, we can't really go much more attacking than we are right now. I'll be honest with you. Maybe something like that, potentially, is the way to go. Just for the final few minutes of this game, to get something out of it. As Salom's header does nothing. You hate to see it. No, the tactical change has not been made yet. I think this highlight started before we made tactical changes. So, whatever happens now is no reflection of me as a manager. Luckily, they didn't score. I was about to start crying then. I was about to start crying if that went in the back of a net. A couple of minutes to go then. Come on, lads. I believe in you. You've played really well recently, apart from those last 2 games. We've lost some form and momentum, obviously. The ball over the top, not good enough. And we win possession in the middle. Salom, over the top. Salom to finish the game off. Can't do it. And would Sione have scored that? Potentially. Potentially he would have done. As Salom on the corner, the little man swings this one into the middle. Eventually, at some point. Come on, lad. There he goes. Cleared out to Ewan. Ewan back to Salom, who's offside, I think, there. Yeah, he is. You hate to see it. And is that that? Is that that? Is that all we're going to see? Yes. That's frustrating. Form is a big thing. Form is a really big thing in Football Manager. Once you get a run of games going, you're all right. But we're suddenly now in a run of games. Is that 4 in a row we've not won, I think? I think that's 4 in a row. Oh no, 4 of our last 5 we've not won. Okay, 4 of our last 5 we haven't won, which is not great. Like, this was a nice bit of form here, but again, Crystal Palace in the relegation zone at the time. Wolves have got 6 points all season. Hull are in the Championship. Like, they were games if we didn't win, that would be embarrassing. Lucky to draw against Chelsea. We actually did deserve to beat Aston Villa, but then these games, you know, we didn't play our very best, did we? Chelsea up next in the 5th round of the FA Cup, 4th round of the FA Cup. Then Man City. Then Leicester, who are actually 16th. That's a must-win game now, really, to be fair. Burnley 19th. They're must-win games as well. So there could be a little bit more pain until things start to get good again. But, you know, we've just drawn one with Bournemouth here, and they're 18th in the table, aren't they? So these could easily be draws or losses as well. Next episode, though, I reckon we come back maybe in mid-March, I think. Mid-March for Leeds and Cardiff. They seem like pretty sensible games to do, particularly the Cardiff game, as that is a battle of Wales. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know down below as well what you think about the transfers too. I think they're both pretty decent ones, so hopefully they'll work out for the best. But until next time, have a lovely evening. Speak to you soon. Goodbye.